Hi, how are you? You're very welcome to your restorative yoga and meditation class for this week. And I really hope that you're keeping well and that everything is going as smoothly and as calmly and as okay as it can do for you in the world that we're living in at the moment and the world that you're living in at the moment. So whatever it might be bringing for you or to you, this is your space for the next little while to settle, to soften a little, and hopefully to soothe a little as well. So for your class this evening, and you can pop away and pop me on pause while you go and gather your bits and pieces. There's as many pillows as you can get your hands on. That's probably a bit of an exaggeration. I don't need to go and tear the whole house apart, but I would say at least 4 pillows. If you have a couple of extra ones, they won't come stray. And a couple of cushions as well. Now I have longer cushions this evening, but they can be any particular shape, doesn't matter whether they're firm ones or whether they're square, or it doesn't really matter about the shape. And have your bolster handy if you actually have a yoga bolster, and if you have a block handy. Otherwise, if you bolts will do you. So 2 or 3 sort of relatively dense blocks that you can just sit one on top of the other. That'll be fairly stable. We're going to slide away, and we can use the cushions if you don't have them. So don't worry if you can't get your hand on maybe a couple of firmer cushions, or they do the job for you. You're also going to want a blanket to cover yourself with, and if you like to have something under your head, just for a little softness on the back of the head, grab something for that as well. And whenever you're ready, we'll get started. So for this evening's class, or this morning, or this afternoon, whatever time it is in your world when you're tuning in, we're going to start the class unusually sitting up. We're going to come from sitting or from sitting to lying this evening. So get yourself close to a wall. Give yourself 1 or 2 cushions to prop yourself up onto, and then sit up onto the cushions. Just nice and comfortably, so that your spine is supported by the wall behind you and is nice and long. You can release your shoulders to the wall, and you can release the back of the head to the wall. And then you can either come to have the legs extended. You can bend the knees and have the soles of the feet onto the floor. Or if you'd like to come to something like easy cross-legged, and this is nice and comfortable, if you get a couple of pillows or a couple more cushions, and maybe prop them in under the thighs and under the knees, so that you're nice and supported here. So get yourself set up in your sitting position, whatever way you're going to be, whatever's going to be comfortable for you for the next little while. And then I'm going to invite you to making sure that your lower back is not too far from the wall, and if it is, you can even pop on a blanket or a cushion, pillow, whatever it is, in behind you, so that you're really supported, like your entire back to feel like it's resting against something rather than floating. And you can probably spend quite a lot of time here. This would be a nice way to do some reading, it would be a nice way to watch TV, and it's certainly a nice way to slow down and to quieten down for a little bit of restorative yoga. So I invite you to bring your hands to your thighs. Maybe bring the fingers, the thumb and index finger on each hand, into mudra, just to create a little energetic seal for the meditation part of the practice. And then the palms can either face down onto the thighs or towards the ceiling, whichever is going to be more comfortable for you. And really get yourself nice and cozy. You want a nice long spine. You want to feel nice and supported, not slouchy. And you want to feel like you can really rest back into the supports here behind you and settle a little. And if you slide forwards a little on your cushions at the sit bones, that's okay too. That'll just give you a little lowering there of the hips. So taking a moment to allow your body to settle. Just getting nice and still and comfortable in your body, in this new position that you're adopting, in whatever space you're in. And please, as we go through the practice, you are your best guide, you are your best teacher. So modify anything for your own comfort. If I'm suggesting stillness and you actually want to wiggle or maneuver to get yourself into a more comfortable position, then that's what you want to be doing. If it's comfortable for you to close the eyes, if you haven't already done so, invite the eyes to gently close. And if you prefer to keep the eyes open, I just suggest that you choose a point to focus in on so you can have a nice, soft, long, low gaze. Paying attention to nothing in particular, just allowing your eyes to rest. And just taking a moment to allow the body to land, to allow yourself to settle. Rooting down a little through the hips, towards the earth, and lengthening a little towards the sky with the crown of the head. Find your breath. Relax your jaw. Soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Relaxing the entire face. Relaxing the forehead, the scalp. Relaxing the shoulders and allowing that lovely openness across the heart space as the shoulder blades are supported by the wall behind you. And a lovely lengthening in the front of the body, so we're creating a nice open, spacious channel for your breath to flow. Allowing the arms to be heavy and to release against the side of the body, palms, the backs of the hands releasing fully to your thighs. Legs resting heavily. And all parts of you that are connecting to support, melting into those supports. So that the weight of your body is held by the floor beneath, by the wall behind, by your cushions, your bolsters, your blankets, whatever else is in place to support you. And you can fully release and let go. Dropping it out of the head and gently, slowly in your own time down into your body. Simply noticing your breath as it comes and goes. Being curious about the gentle rhythmic exchange between body and breath. As the breath comes in through the nostrils and down all the way towards the base of the lungs, there's a lengthening and an extension in the torso. It's very, very subtle. As the breath makes its way back out, moves back up through the body, back out through the nose and the mouth. There's a softening. There's a release back towards center and back towards the earth. Just allow yourself to be captivated a little, to be hypnotized by that lovely exchange between body and breath. Very subtle lengthening and expansion on the inhalations between the collarbone and the navel. And then a releasing back towards center, settling back towards center on your exhalations. As you rest back inwards, as you make your way back in to that gentle home inside. And I invite you to tune in to somewhere in your center. So it might be around the solar plexus area that you tune into this. It might be more towards your heart space, that space between the shoulders at the front of the chest. And as you're inhaling, you're making those lovely expansive movements outwards. As the body lengthens and expands, just radiate from your center. Just feel all of the radiance within you, the aliveness within you, gently moving outwards, connecting into the energy of the space around you. And then softening, sighing out perhaps, and gently releasing back towards center, back in towards your home within, back to your core, as the breath moves out again. Inhaling, radiating through your center, radiating outwards, connecting into the energy, the vitality, the nurturance of the breath, and also the space around you. Exhaling, cleansing, releasing, softening, easing back in, easing back towards center. As you continue with this flow of breath and awareness and movement in the body and the energetic exchange between body and breath, I invite you to set aside kalpa for your practice this evening. How would you like the energy of your practice to support you? How would you like it to support you during your practice? What qualities would you like to call in? Perhaps something along the lines of calm, ease, balance, perspective, patience, acceptance, strength, flexibility. What would you like the energy of your practice to help you to release? You can release aspects of your current experience that might be bringing in cares, worries, concerns on a mental, physical, emotional level. And also in other areas of your life, other areas of your day-to-day at the moment, perhaps some attachments. We need to release attachments to things being a particular way, attachments to the desire to live the life as we are used to living it, to operate in the way that we're used to operating, and some of the sadness and frustration and pain that comes from having to live a little differently right now. So that we can move back towards acceptance, back towards acknowledgement that everything passes, everything is temporary. The current demands on us, the current changes in our way of being, just for now, they will pass. And we just need to be able to flow from moment to moment, from breath to breath. Just putting one foot in front of the other and moving from moment to moment with the breath. So I invite you to take your hands to your belly, to your heart center. And just as you inhale, you have that nice lengthening and expansive inhalation, calling in the vitality, and then all of the qualities that you have chosen to invite into yourself, into your being, into your way of being right now. Invite those in on the inhalations as you feel your body moving out into your hands, into the arms. And exhaling, sighing, slowly, softly releasing back to center. Feel the body gently moving back inwards and slightly away from the connection of the hands and the arms. And moving and flowing with that for a breath or two. And with each one of those inhalations, as the body moves out into the arms, almost experience that as a hug to yourself, as reassurance, as nurturance. You are here, you are here for you. You're supporting yourself in your practice right now. You can do this. And as you exhale, there's that release away. There's that gentle movement away from the hands and the arms, and it's tiny, and maybe perhaps allow that to represent releasing of some of the attachments to particular outcomes, to things being a particular way. So that we're not letting go, we're holding on to the hope that we can return to many of our familiar ways of being, to the people, to the places that we're currently separated from. But there's a little release from that right now, a little letting go on an energetic level of that right now. Have one or two more breaths like this. Inhale and embrace yourself. Embrace your radiance, embrace your vitality, your strength, all of those qualities within you that will support you at this time. Perhaps sighing out, softening a little on the exhalations as you release some of those attachments and settle back in towards home within, settling back and accepting what is for now. So you can do the hands here if you like. You might like to replace the hands back to the thighs again. I'm going to invite you to take 3 nice long deep sighing breaths here. Nice long full deep inhalation. Exhaling, sighing, softening. Exhalation. This time as you inhale, inviting the shoulders up towards the ears, and as you exhale and release back behind you, softening back towards the earth. Inhaling, shoulders up towards the ears, and then releasing back behind you, back down towards the floor again. Just a breath or two here. As we exhale, we'll bring the chin towards our chest. Take a nice slow inhalation in your own time, and on your next exhalation, allow your left ear to travel towards your left shoulder. Inhaling gently, gliding back to center. On your exhalation, right ear towards right shoulder. Inhaling, gliding gently back to center. Enjoying your exhale. Exhaling all the way to empty. On your inhalation, just lifting your gaze, gazing forwards. Slowly allowing the eyes to open. Slowly allowing the light to trickle in, if there's light in the room. And taking a moment or two to take little circles with the eyes. So not paying any particular attention to the stimulus that you're taking in, but almost following the eyes around as though you were following around the face of the clock, hands moving around the face of the clock, back to center, and then all the way back around to the other side again. Take a nice long flow inhalation here, and a sighing, releasing, exhalation. So getting ready to move back into your practice, move back into a little bit more tiny bit movement before we come to rest again. And just check out the position again now, see how comfortable you are on a scale of 1 to 10. I find myself very comfortable here. I'll be happy to stay here for a little bit longer. But it's just something that you can go back to if you want to do it. A few moments of breathing, aligning with your breath, tuning into your breath during the day. This can just be a nice nurturing posture for you to set yourself up into, either on the floor or in bed. Might be a nice way to start the day. But for now, we're going to just sit forwards a little bit. And as you sit forwards, sit nice and tall. And maybe move a little bit forwards so that we're coming more towards the floor and off the cushions for now. You can keep the supports underneath the thighs if you find that nurturing and comfortable for you. We're going to have a breath or two here. Nice long full inhalation and lengthen. Exhale and release. And then you just want to make sure that you can access the floor. So if your cushions are wide or your pillows are wide, you want to be able to get your hands to the floor in a minute. We're going to take a little lateral stretch here. So initially we're going to take the palms forwards, and as we inhale, take the palms towards, fingertips towards the ceiling, palms towards each other. Exhaling, bring the hands nice and slowly down to your heart center in prayer position, keeping nice openness here across the heart center. Inhaling and lengthening the arms all the way up towards the sky. And then exhaling, releasing the palms back towards heart center. Really pressing the palms into each other so you can support the opening there across your heart space. And just one more of these. So nice energizing breaths as you call the breath into the body, calling all of the qualities that you'd like to support you. Take the hands to the knees. We're going to take a little torso roll here where we just start to hinging from the hips, rolling nice and slowly. And I would suggest half a circle for an inhalation, half a circle for an exhalation across the body. So we're really making a semicircle. We're not coming back behind us. We're coming forwards out to the side, staying in line with your hips and your waist, and then back to center again. And moving out as far as you like to the side, as far forwards as you want to go, keeping a nice long spine. Your gaze is long and low, and back towards center. And then we're going to take that to the other side, lengthening forwards, feeling love and compassion from your heart space there out to the earth. So we're this lovely torso. It's really nice for just mobilizing the spine, warming up the lower back and warming up the hips and paying a bit more attention to these parts of the body later on as we go through our practice as well. Sitting nice and tall here. Then we're going to take the left hand to the floor, and as we inhale, take the right hand towards the ceiling. Have a little lateral stretch there. If you bend your elbow, brings you a little closer to the floor. Keep the arms straight if this is a strong enough stretch for you. Inhaling in your own time back to center. Find the floor on the other side. And lengthen across, just bringing a nice, slow, gentle stretch here into the side body. Inhaling back to center. And lengthening out to the other side. Inhaling nice and slowly back to center, taking your time, moving with your own breath, and lengthening out to the side here. Inhale back to center, take the arms nice and wide, palms towards the ceiling, and then bending the elbows, roll your palms forwards so that we're coming into a nice cactus pose here. So inviting the elbows back, drop the shoulders away from the ears so that we're not bunching up. The elbows might be lower or in line with the shoulders, but not higher. So as we exhale, we're going to take a little torso twist round to the left side. Nice and slowly, your gaze follows your left thumb. And you're keeping the arms nice and wide as they are. So rather than allowing the right arm to follow in, you're keeping the arms nice and separate. Inhaling in your own time, really slowly all the way back towards center. And then exhaling all the way around to the other side. Inhaling back to center. Now you might repeat it with your arms like that if you're comfortable to, or if the arms are tired, take your hand to your waist, both hands to either side of your waist, elbows back. And as you exhale, take a little torso twist around, looking over the left shoulder, flow nice and slowly back to center on your inhalation, and then exhale, round over the other side, nice and slowly back to center again. You're going to release your hands forward, take your feet out in front of you, hold on to your thighs, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, roll forward. Allow your gaze just to follow the line of vision if you weren't looking up, if you were looking directly in front of you. And then inhale up, holding onto the backs of the thighs, taking the elbows back and in towards the waist. You're going to lengthen your heart center, your sternum, towards the ceiling. Exhale, release. So come back to easy cross-legged, or you can keep your legs as they just were there. This is just more comfortable for me. We're going to take out a cat-cow with this, and then we're going to move on to some nice supported positions. So roll your palms forwards, arms a little away from the body. And as you exhale, rotate the palms in towards the center of the body and release your chest towards the floor out in front of you. So you're not collapsing your chest in towards your navel. You're keeping nice length in the middle of the spine and just releasing the upper back. When you inhale, release your arms out to the side, palms roll forwards, elbows come back towards each other. We take that little lengthening again, with a very slight lengthening with the throat towards the ceiling. Exhaling, rolling forwards into your cat. I'll show you this from the side as well. And then inhaling, lengthening forwards. So bringing a little opening for the thoracic spine here. It's the movement really is in the spine, the thoracic spine rather than the lower back. And then exhaling forwards into your cat. So we're not jumping, keeping the nice long spine. It's just the upper spine that's mobilizing, and then a nice openness here. And then you can take your hands back behind you. Take the shoulders back and allow a little release now into your lower back. Allow a little curving of the lower back there as you send your diaphragm slightly up the wall, sending up the wall towards the wall in front of you. Exhale and release. Have a nice full inhalation, a nice long exhale, cleansing exhalation. And we're going to get ready in a moment or two to start moving towards our restorative postures. So because we're already sitting, I'm going to set you up first of all for a seated forward bend for your first restorative held position. This is where you're going to need your mountain of pillows that you've pulled together, and you can use your bolster as well if you had a bolster with you, but you're going to need more supports than the bolster, so you're going to need a few pillows as well, a few cushions. So get yourself sitting up initially onto a cushion, just to give you a little bit of time, a little bit of height here for the hips. And you don't have to be too high. Even a rolled blanket will do the job for this. But you just want to feel like you have a slight elevation here of your hips, slightly higher than your knees. So if your cushion is not very firm, you could double it over just to give yourself that little bit of extra height. So you can see that there's a slight incline here. Hips are slightly higher than the knees. And then you're going to get your 3 or 4 pillows. So one across your thighs first of all. And there's a few options with this for the legs that I'll talk you through. You're going to start to build up a little bit of a mountain in front of you with cushions here, so that you have lots of support in front of you, and you can start to release forward. So the options here for your legs are that you can, the first option is that you could keep your feet quite close together, or maybe hip width apart. And what you want to do is get yourself to such a height, and you might want to use finally a block or a cushion for your head, so that you can release forwards, almost like a supported seated forward bend here. You can release your shoulders fully forward and allow that rounding in your thoracic spine. And then release your forehead. I have to lift mine to speak so I don't muffle. But release your forehead to wherever your top support is. And you want to feel like your forehead is supported. You don't want your neck hanging forwards, your forehead unsupported, and then feeling like you might be straining into your neck, because you really want to be able to release into this. So do pop something, whether it's a blanket, a cushion, a pillow, underneath the forehead. Now you want to leave space for your nose and your mouth to be able to breathe. The arms can hold on to the legs, they can hold on to the front of your cushions, whatever it might be. You can introduce the fingers. And you want to feel quite supported on the belly here. Now the other options for this are to take the legs wide into more of a fan pose, and if you do that, you need to just pull your props in a little bit, hug them in a little bit closer, because you have lost a little bit of the legs there as a support. And then you can release back again. So you're leaning slightly forwards, you're not sitting straight and just releasing your neck, you're sitting slightly forwards into this. And releasing the forehead again. And for those of you who like the hip opening, or if you find the inner thigh stretch too strong here in the fan pose with the legs, you can bend the knees, take the soles of the feet either in together or towards each other or towards the side of your props. And again, just stack yourself up here and release forwards. You can have your head facing to one side if it's uncomfortable to have your forehead on the bolsters, but if you do that, just take a few moments, a few breaths, and then turn the head to the other side so you keep nice and lengthened here. And if you feel like you've fallen off your cushion underneath the hips, pop yourself back up there, because that will help with the release in the posture. And then little by little, moment by moment, with every exhalation, see if you can soften into it a little bit more fully. Can you release into it a little bit more fully and allow that sense of letting go? If you find things slipping away from you, just take time to get them back towards each other again. And you can even use your fists or your backs of the hands here to support the head of the leg. I'm going to rest here for about 3 or 4 minutes. So Make sure you're nice and comfortable. Modify as often as you need to, as often as you like. And then otherwise, release yourself into it. Let yourself go. Relax your jaw, soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Let your breath be nice and long, deep, slow and full. Really embrace the size. So this is a lovely position. Forward bends are really helpful for lots of things. First of all, the core poses of surrender, which times like this where we just have to almost give in. You have to shrug your shoulders and just give in and go with what's being asked of us. We don't have the usual amount of control. Forward bends can be nice to help us to release into that. And also with the forward bends, because we have the connection with props at the belly, sometimes when we're doing it in more active yoga, it can be the thigh belly against the thighs. But it's a lovely nurturing and soothing position for the body in general. It's much easier to soften into that sense of being hugged and held than it is to soften into being unsupported. So it's a really nice supportive posture. And often with the forward bends, we just do get that ability to just almost deflate and release. Really nice for the back. So you're releasing the shoulders, the upper back. You're releasing all the way down here to your lower back. So lovely supportive posture there for your back. I'm going to invite you to have 3 or 4 more breaths here. If your head is turned to one side and you haven't turned it to the other side recently, you might want to turn it there just to give yourself some nice release and some nice attention to both sides of your neck rather than just to one side of your neck. And I encourage sighing breaths for your last couple of breaths. So nice full inhalations through the nose. And then sigh out and soften through the mouth. And with every sigh, you might have noticed as you've gone into this, you might have gone a little bit further forwards over time. You might have released a little bit more, surrendered a little bit more into your supports. So one nice long final cleansing breath here. And then we'll release back to sitting in your own time. So on an inhalation, take your belly away from the props, sit forwards, lengthen forwards. And then we'll just take advantage of the props in place here while they are here. So keep your right arm, or whichever arm is the arm that's closest to the wall behind you, depending on how you're facing. Let that rest on the top of your props. Take your left arm behind you, and as you go, imagine that you're opening a jar and rotate that palm around so that when you come around, the fingers are facing behind you rather than in towards your back or in towards your bum. And then you're going to lift and lengthen. And as you exhale, look round over that shoulder, the arm that's behind you. Just bringing a nice twist here into the body. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then exhale back to center. Have a full inhalation at center. See, do you want to sigh again? The twist can also be nice and releasing and cleansing. And then you're going to take the other arm this time to the top of your supports. You're going to imagine twisting and opening your jar as you take the opposite arm. So for me, it was the left arm that went around the first time. It's the right arm this time. I'm going to move down, rise up. And then as I exhale, I'm going to twist around and look over that shoulder that's behind me with my nice long spine. Take a nice full inhalation, lift, root and rise, and then exhale back towards center. Take both hands behind you, fingertips pointing behind you, shoulder blades towards each other, lift from the sternum, so avoid puffing out your ribcage, your diaphragm is moving down towards your navel in the direction of the floor, and then just allow your gaze to look towards the ceiling. So just bring a nice little gentle back bend into this to counterbalance that forward bend that we've been in for a little while. And then inhale, sitting forwards, exhale, softening and releasing here. Lovely. So we're going to get rid of our mounted props momentarily. We might get some of them back again soon. Just take some of these pillows away from you. And then we're going to think about getting yourself to lying down. So release finally the angel to join us in our practice this evening. Release the support from underneath your ball if you have one in place there. We're going to make our way towards lying down. Now when you come to lying, you're going to want to have either a block or maybe your books, or you could take a couple of your cushions to support you underneath your pelvis. So release yourself back to the floor. Release your head back to the floor. And we're coming so that the knees are bent initially. We're going to move from here into a simple bridge pose. So if you have your block, you're going to take your block and lift your hips, pop it in underneath your pelvis so that you can have a nice elevation there, not too high for the pelvis. Start on the lower edge, and over time you might want to increase the height a little bit, come a little higher with it. Otherwise, as I said, pop a couple of cushions under. Now what you don't want is to pop a cushion under your lower back and then collapse all the way back to the floor. So you need some firmness here. So you might need to take 2 or 3 cushions, or maybe double over if you've got a cushion that's a little bit more light on the support. You want to double that over and come to resting and come to lying. And just have a few breaths there. I'm not sure if my view is obstructed with something there, so I'm just going to move just in case. So you're either resting on your cushion or your block. Now the firmer support is going to feel nicer. It's going to feel better for you. So if you don't feel like you have a firm enough support underneath your hips, and you could use your bolster for this. If you have a bolster, take a moment or two to sort that out. You can allow the knees to fall in towards each other if you like, or you can keep the knees apart, whichever feels better. Roll the palms towards the ceiling, keeping the elbows quite close to the body, and tuck in the shoulder blades one at a time. Release back onto that nice muscular thoracic part of the back, so the upper back, the thoracic spine. So when we roll the shoulder blades underneath, we get a nice opening here across our heart space, and it generally tends to take us back onto the muscular back rather than the rounded part of your spine, which is not going to feel very nice. And you're going to rest here for a few breaths. Nice long, deep, slow, full inhalations and exhalations. Allow everything to soften. Make sure that you're nice and comfortable. And just allow yourself to be nice and easy there. So just make sure that you're nice and supported here on this block or your cushions, whatever it is that you're using. And just have a few more breaths here. Nice long, deep, slow, full inhalations and exhalations. Your hands can rest on your belly. You can have the hands on the floor, whatever feels nice for you, for your body. So we're coming into a slight inversion here. The hips are higher than the heart, so that means that we're having to work a little bit harder. The body is working a little bit hard, more effortfully to move blood and nutrients around the body. So it's really nice for the heart, really nice for the lungs, and really good as well for the kidneys. So generally a soothing position as well. When we have weight on the shoulders and the upper back like this, it's generally very grounding and soothing for the body. So the front of the chest, at the front of the body with the heart space, back of the chest is connecting with the earth. So you're really grounding down, rooting down here. And you're supported as well at your root chakra. You're supported at the base of your spine by the block underneath. And these are two areas of the body. The root chakra is all about our sense of personal safety, our sense of security, our sense of our seat in the world, our home in the world, and all of that is feeling very much under threat at the moment for many of us in many different ways. So whether it's about the well-being and the safety of yourself, your loved ones, financial concerns, it's really important that we feel nice and rooted and grounded. So the soles of the feet connected to the floor is really healthy and really positive, and having some connection here, either with your seat or the base of the spine, really helps with this. And then we have our heart, our compassion center with the heart chakra up around that space there between the shoulders. And again, we really need to root into compassion for ourselves, for others, for humanity at the moment, and feel grounded and connected in that, rather than perhaps getting carried away with it and almost feeling overwhelmed and feeling too much pain and suffering. So it's really nice just to ground the shoulders, to ground the upper back in this kind of position. So this might be something that you might maybe come to every now and again when you feel like you just need to root down, you need to ground down and connect inwards. And then this all does physiological benefits as well. So have a breath or two more here. Try a silent breath on the exhalation. Nice full inhalation and a nice full cleansing exhalation. And in your own time, maybe lift the feet from the floor. So if you're on the cushions, you really want to feel quite grounded with this. You don't feel like you're either collapsing back to the floor or running from side to side. So you might like to bring the feet so that initially flex the feet, maybe bring the heels in line with the knees, and that might be as far as you'd like to go with it. You might like to extend the legs towards the ceiling. So coming towards our Viparita Karani, the extended legs or legs of the wall pose. And there's no wall behind us, but we can support ourselves here. And you can do this with your pelvis on the floor. If you're not feeling connected or you're not feeling grounded and solid enough, you can do this with the pelvis on the floor. It's actually slightly easier with something under the hips. It's a little bit less effort on your core. So if you wanted a little bit of feeling like you're doing something for your core, you could the legs of the wall, or if you have up towards the ceiling. If you do have a wall accessible to you, you could take this to the wall, but we're not going to stay here for very long, so I don't want to take you out of position and stress you with that. So take 3 or 4 more breaths here, and as you inhale, imagine healing light, soothing light, nurturing light coming in through the soles of your feet, just gently washing over you, over your entire body, your entire system, just cleansing you and nurturing you. And as you exhale, imagining all the parts of the body that are connected to the floor, releasing any tensions, cares, worries, concerns down to the earth. You can bend your knees or keep the legs extended for the breath if you like. And then in your own time, you're going to bring the soles of the feet back to the floor. If there's still supports underneath your hips, you're going to lift your hips and take those away. And then bringing the thighs towards the belly, hold on to the shins. Have a little rock here from side to side. Nice, slow, nurturing rocking across the spine. Rocking across the vertebrae there, just nurturing it and releasing it. Soles of the feet to the floor. And then for your last 10 minutes or so, I'm going to give you a choice between going to Shavasana, where you'll extend your legs, maybe prop your legs underneath the knees with a couple of cushions or a couple of pillows. Or for those of you who like the Supta or the goddess pose, as I usually call it, you could bring the soles of your feet together, bring yourself up towards sitting for a minute if you need to for this, and get a couple of blankets or cushions or pillows, whatever it is that you have available to you, to prop in underneath your thighs, or lots underneath your knees, either your bolster underneath your knees if you have a bolster, so that you can lie down and release the knees out to the side, nice and supported. You might like a blanket under your head, just to support the back of the head. You might like to cover yourself with a blanket just to keep you nice and warm. Palms towards the ceiling, whether you're, I recommend palms towards the ceiling, whether you're in the extended Shavasana. If you've got lots of propping underneath the legs, it's still Shavasana, but whether you're in this hip opening variation of it, it just helps to open across the heart space, and we want that lovely openness really for the chest to allow the lungs and the heart lots of space at the moment. Help build up strength here, help to build up tone, but also to allow flow of energy, flow of the life force energy, prana or chi, it might be known as if we were thinking about meridians, to allow blood to flow to the organs for nurturing, and just to create this lovely openness here, creates a nice tone as well. It's a gentle little stretch for the fascia, the film around the organs, and at the moment it's just really helpful for us to have a nice healthy heart and lungs as well. So we just want to be as robust as possible. So come to rest, come to soften, to relax, and we move towards our final few minutes of relaxation. Our final few minutes, I should say, of guided relaxation. You will be free to stay here for as long as you like. I'm just going to find our music to finish off with. We'll finish off with Sarve Sham with Jack Harrison. Come to settle, come to rest, and make sure you're as comfortable as you can possibly be. Relax your jaw. Soften your mouth, your lips, your tongue. Relax your forehead, allowing the temples to melt towards the tips of the ears, allowing the entire face and scalp to melt towards the earth. Relax your shoulders, your arms, relaxing the biceps, the elbows, the forearms, wrists and hands, relaxing all of your fingers, relaxing your chest, front and back. If you're in that deep connection between the back of the chest and the back of your heart space on the earth. Relaxing your belly above and below the navel. Softening the belly, allowing the muscles to relax, the belly to expand a little. Relaxing your hips, your pelvis, your glutes. Relaxing your thighs, front and back. Knees, space around the knees, behind the knees. Relaxing the calves and the shins. Ankles, the heels. Tops of the feet, soles of the feet, and all of your toes. Letting your legs release out heavily and comfortably when you breathe. Feels good. And if you're feeling in any way unconnected or disconnected, and you're feeling a little bit ungrounded, take the soles of the feet to the floor. The soles of the feet on the floor. If you have the knees out to the side and that hip open, just prop yourself a little bit more. So that you can feel that connection between the soles of the feet, the back of your pelvis, the back of your chest, upper back, the back of your head, all rooting down, grounding. Your head, your heart, your root chakra, base, all connected, earthed, secure. Find that little pocket of peace. Move within. Find that little space within. Little pocket of peace within. You can access a little bit of internal stillness, internal calm, internal light, peace, hope. Into it, breathe around it, breathe for it. Every breath is like a little igniting of the spark that you have within. Every exhalation is releasing, cleansing, softening. Om Shanti. Peace to everyone. Peace to all mankind. Peace to the universe. May you be well. May you be happy. May you ride the waves of your life. May you live in peace, no matter what you are given. Repeating this to yourself, may I be well. May I be happy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am allow your breath to be nice and long, deep, slow and full. Allowing your inhalations to nourish you, revitalize, re-energize you, and allowing your exhalations to soothe, to soften, to release, and to ground you. So we've come to the end of our guided practice, or your guided practice for now. If you're at home and if you're warm enough, if you're comfortable, if you have found a space of ease and quiet and feeling settled within, then I encourage you to stay there for a little bit longer. When you do come to move, bring little wiggles into the fingers and the toes and allow movements to trickle up into the joints, little rotations of wrists and stretching out around the elbows, maybe a roll of the shoulders, roll of the ankles, stretching around the knees and moving your knees from side to side will wake up your hips and your lower back. And then something like knees to chest, rocking from side to side and perhaps rolling over onto your side to side. Not rolling over onto your side to side, rolling over onto one side. That suffice. Resting there for a little while. So this is all just suggestions of things to come. Take your time. If you're feeling grounded, you're feeling rested. I hope you're feeling like you've released a little in your practice. You're feeling a little bit more settled in yourself, a little bit more connected, tuned in to you. And I wish you well until we meet again to practice, which will be soon. And I'll be back next week with another guided practice. In the meantime, repeat this as often as you like or any of the other practices available to you. Remember your breath. Remember that nice sitting, sitting posture we had at the beginning. We were swaddled in blankets and supported with pillows and cushions. Don't forget that if you want a little bit of daily meditation. But for now, thank you for your practice. Thank you for your time. Be well, stay safe.